Jurriaan and Bruin. I work for an aerospace company and I have the pleasure of helping out with the GCC. First, I want to thank the panelists and the speakers for their very interesting contributions today. Especially the certification and verification part. I thought it was more fun than I expected in the beginning. So next time we move you guys around to the front of the conference. My feeling is that of today is that we couldn't have picked a better time to talk about artificial intelligence. From what I've seen today, it has a real urgency to the topic. Even though the term itself is more than 60 years old, I understood. So why is it urgent now? I think the answer to that is that we're in an acceleration phase now. Things are really moving fast. From what I've read, the current AI boom started about 7 years ago in 2011, 2012, and it was driven by advances in computing power, data availability, so think big data, and better algorithms. So examples are deep learning and neural networks. These advances opened the door to new applications and new types of AI. I mean, the first success of the 90s and the beginning of the millennium was what is often called Internet AI. That's nothing more than a model where your internet behavior is tracked to create a personal profile of you. And it's mostly used for targeted advertising. Think of companies like Google, Amazon, and Baidu in China. But in the last couple of years, we've seen new types of AI emerge. Business AI, where proprietary business data is being used to improve decision-making within the company. Perception AI, where sensor data is used to implement things like computer vision, speech processing, and natural language processing. There you can think of Alexa from Amazon or Siri from Apple. And a fourth one, autonomous AI, where machines are given the ability to not only sense, but also respond to events, to move intuitively and to manipulate objects as we people can do. So there, think of autonomous vehicles as an example. With these developments, we are slowly transitioning from what is called narrow AI to general AI or broad AI, where broad AI is the ability to apply intelligence to a range of problems, not just one. So how are we handling this in the AI boom in Canada and Germany? Well, on a political level, we define strategies. So Canada presented their Pan-Canadian Artificial Intelligence Strategy in 2017, and Germany presented theirs at the end of last year. The Canadian strategy is a 5-year strategy and involves 125 million Canadian dollars of investment from the government. And its primary focus, as I understood it, is AI research and fostering AI talent. Two aspects that Canada, I think, is recognized for, actually, internationally. The German strategy has quite a number of focus areas. It goes from, the keyword here is ethical AI, transparent AI, to transfer of research to the private sector, to attracting and retaining AI talent, and to improving the accessibility of data. And that includes public data, so data that is currently with the government. A major player in this is DFKI, who amongst many other things helps fund application-oriented research. I think on the business side, the picture is a little bit different. Concentration of data and AI development is in the hands of a few mega corporations in the world, predominantly American and Chinese companies. Think of Amazon, Google, and Alibaba. These are the companies that on the business side lead change, and they have the clear competitive advantage of owning the data required to develop the technology. And they have the budget to make it happen. One example is Baidu, the Chinese Google. They have an annual R&D budget of $2 billion and employ according to what I read, 10,000 R&D engineers is an amazing number. That alone, I think, emphasizes the importance of the German and Canadian knowledge hubs and networking platforms that we've heard of today, like Ivado and XAI from Canada, and the Smart Data Forum and Applied AI from Germany. They act and need to act as a bridge between research and the private sector. It also needs the backing of a strong venture capitalist ecosystem. I looked at the list of participants today, they're in the brochure, and I noticed a few of the VCs are here. So I would really encourage you to go and talk to them. On a positive note, we do see startups make money in the shadow of the big giants. All it needs is a smart, ambitious team and access to a data set, preferably that others don't have. So a final aspect I would like to address is the impact of AI on society. After today, I think you can imagine how AI can make us better decision makers, but if not implemented well, can also bias our decision making. This is why we address certification and liability aspects today, with very interesting contributions from TÜV Süd, DIN, Nuricat, BMW, BlackBerry, and PMG. Keeping in mind that new technologies thrive in welcoming regulatory environments, we nonetheless need to address regulatory issues like transparency, traceability of data processing, and data privacy. I think our host on the Canadian side, McCarthy-Tétrault, can tell you much more about this. AI also affects society in terms of job markets. We can expect AI to create new jobs and new opportunities and augment current jobs in terms of accuracy, efficiency, and safety. But it will also make certain entry-level jobs disappear, and that's an issue that needs to be addressed. I think all in all, it was a very, very interesting day that we will build on next time we meet in November this year. We, as an organization, we are extremely grateful for having such a diverse group of participants and speakers. So I want to thank you for coming. And before saying goodbye to the Canadian participants, I want to wish them a great field trip at Ivado Labs and Scale AI and networking reception at Aviseo Conseil. And on the Berlin side, I hope to see you all at the Landesvertretung Bremen. So thanks again, and with that, I would like to hand over for the final words to either Alex or Matthias. Thank you.
So I can only join in to thank everybody for this great afternoon in the case here in Berlin, and a great morning I expect in Montreal. As Jurriaan was already pointing out, we have seen there were a lot more questions ready to be asked, but the good news is this is not the end of the discussion, that's only the beginning. Here in Berlin, we will have the opportunity to have a networking reception at the premises of the Bremer Landesvertretung, to where we walk over or take a taxi. So you're all invited here in Berlin to join us for this event. Thanks again, I think Barbara is not here anymore, to Avia Space for sponsoring this event. Likewise, in Montreal, you will have the opportunity to exchange a few ideas during the networking lunch, which is sponsored by McCarthy-Tétrault. So thanks again to McCarthy-Tétrault for the sponsorship, for hosting the event in Montreal, and for inviting the Canadian part to this reception. And then we had our field trip this morning. Unfortunately, there's nobody here anymore from the Smart Data Forum. But you will have the chance in Montreal to visit Ivado Labs and Scale AI. And thanks again to this organization for being part of our program. And we will see each other end of this year with hopefully new ideas and a new inspiring round on other topics, other focuses on artificial intelligence. Thank you very much.